Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for a power building workout, and today was back in biceps day. Because my back is in such a good place, I kind of just didn't feel like doing any rows. I wanted to really just focus on biceps, and pull-ups, quite frankly, hit my lats just fine. They hit them better than anything else I do, but they actually do work arms a little better than rows on top of it based upon the data. So I'm like, let's just come in and do 5 sets of weighted pull-ups, and then just do a bunch of curls. Again, hitting curls from 4 different angles. I did 10 total sets of those. So for pull-ups, I did the first couple sets pretty heavy, and then dropped down to just a 10-pound plate, knocked out some sets of 10. And as much as I do like kind of doing the heavy stuff, I really feel like my lats get a better pump and respond a lot better when I hit 10 plus reps. So quite frankly, I would almost be better off just coming in and doing all my sets with 10 plus reps and just doing the lighter weight, that 10 to 12 rep range. But again, some of it is I like to just come in and lift heavy some, and mainly because I'm doing the whole power building thing. You guys see where I'm going with that? I almost feel like maybe I should just ramp to a really, really heavy set on these and then just crank out 10s. But by that same token, I could come in and just do 5, 6, 7, hell, even 10 sets of high reps, right? I could totally do that and be just fine. In fact, for overall just back development, I might be better coming in and just doing that. And I might do that next week. But again, we still did the high reps though, so that's the main thing. I still did three pump sets afterwards. But part of me wants to come in and just crank out lots and lots of pull-ups, honestly, on my back day. I get so much out of it, right? And we could argue about other angles. We could argue about the benefits of rows. I just enjoy them, and that's the main thing. And for me, I'm not even that worried about my back. My back is my best body part, my lats and my calves at this point. I can almost do whatever I want for it. As long as I get a good mind-muscle connection, I'm good. But biceps really were kind of the star player today, right? That's really where I wanted the work to be. So it was just like, come in, just get a really good pump, do some pull-ups, a little bit of weight, have fun with them, and then come in and just hammer the arms. And I've had people point out a couple things. They're like, with the arm work, it seems like you go really light, or they'll say you're not taking sets, you're so far from failure, and they're not realizing those are failure sets. For me, keeping in mind, I think people forget my grind reps are fast. I just can't really lift super slow. I can't. So for me, if the weight slows down at all, I can't even move it. So if I try to do a slow rep, I can't move a weight at all. It's just my nature, and that's for me. When I hit failure, if you guys watch the curls here though, watch the curls and notice they stop at the bottom. Like on each of these sets, like see that one right there? That was a grindy. That felt like a 1 rep max, and it gets to the bottom, and I feel like my arm wouldn't move anymore. Okay, so those are actually failure sets. Because again, it's sticking at the bottom, and I'm actually going to just reactivate it right at the bottom without cheating, and it doesn't come up. And I think that's where people misinterpret it, because they don't see me cheat and try to force a rep that I can't do, right? Like notice again, I'm struggling there, it's hurting. I get to the bottom, that last one I pause, and then that's kind of a cheat rep, and then we get there, and that is everything that I have, and it gets to the bottom right there. I tried to do another rep. That makes sense? That was muscle failure. I failed the 11th rep or the 10th rep or whatever that was. It went to the bottom, I tried to contract, and the weight just stuck. Didn't move. So when we say muscle failure, that's what we're talking about. I literally couldn't do the rep. So then I went next with incline curls. Same thing, I'm only using 28s. We're getting 10 plus reps. I'm not really counting as long as I get at least 10. Just take them till they burn and it doesn't want to move. So they were something like 10, 11, 12, something in that range. But the thing is, again, doing right there till that momentary muscle failure. Okay, and that's pretty well the name of the game. But some of these, if you watch close, they are actual failure sets. So that last set of curls, 100% failure. That was failed. It stuck at the bottom. You'll notice when I do my dumbbell curls on the very last set, the same thing happens. You'll see that if you watch close, I attempt to do another rep and it just sticks. So again, that is failure. But the thing is, yes, I'm using a light weight, and my biceps are better for it. This has come up too of some people have said, why don't you cheat? Why don't you go heavier? The extra tension. And it's like, I don't get a lot out of that. You guys have seen me do, when I had smaller arms than this, you watched me do cheat curls with 185 pounds. I just don't get the same stimulus as just trying to do this stuff strict, working multiple angles, doing higher reps to failure. Okay, I can do pull-ups for the tension, right? If I want more tension on there, I can have more pull-ups, and we just got that, right? We got all that tension there. So in this case, we're trying to get this. Now, this first set of preacher curls, I kind of just still use a little bit of a stretch reflex at the bottom, but again, the question becomes so are you not locking out? And I think for vlog purposes, I don't think there's going to be a difference with pausing at the bottom for training stimulus, but for the purposes of the vlog, the next 2 sets, I'm like, let me pause at the bottom on each rep. So let me go into the stretch, bring it to a stop. Now it cost me a couple reps total. Okay. All right. So you'll notice on this set, I start pausing as we get near the end, like around rep 10 or so. All right, doing that pause at the bottom and then doing it from a little bit of a dead stop. And then that way, there's no argument about range of motion. But again, trying to make sure that I do it through the full range of motion. It's going to be critical, again, if we're going to do a preacher curl, that's important because of the nature of the exercise, especially if you don't want to tear biceps. But we can't use as much weight. Yep. Again, we're not at risk of tearing biceps. So on these, I'm trying to go all the way to a brief pause at the bottom. Right, just like when we pause bench or whatever. So it's like, okay, let's take these sets here, make sure that they are getting the stretch, okay, making sure we're getting that deep stretch, and then trying to bring them from a dead stop at the bottom. But I'm doing it without laying back. So it's the same thing. A lot of these sets, we're getting there, and then notice there, and I'm struggling to get it out of the bottom on that one. We bring it down, and then it fails. Because if you guys notice, I'm coming to the bottom, you see that little bounce. That bounce is me trying to get another rep. And it's just sticking. So that's muscle failure, right? And that's what we want. So on these preacher curls, what we're seeing is me doing, 12 plus reps for full range of motion and then hitting muscle failure, right? In this case, we are taking the joint itself through its complete range of motion, top to bottom, in a locked in position and then hitting failure. Okay, well, that's it. You're not going to get more stimulus than that. And so again, my arm volume is going to be a little high. And most muscles, I'm not coming in and doing 10 sets of isolation, except things like delts. But delts are different, right? 3 different heads, 3 different functions. So in this case, though, yeah, we're going to do 10 sets. 10 sets of direct isolation work hitting multiple angles. And then I finished up with just one set. My biceps almost couldn't handle anything else, but I did one set of these curls going from a hammer grip up and then supinating it to work all the functions of the bicep. Took this set to failure. Had one heck of a pump. I think I got either 10 or 11 reps here. I kind of lost count, and then I hit failure. So overall, good workout. Very happy with it. Good bicep stimulus. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys and gals next time.